Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Saturday, the 29th of June 2024. So, the synoptic situation, and this is as of midnight last night. This low pressure hanging out just to the west of Ireland has got a couple of fronts lingering on it. If we advance that through to lunchtime today, we can see that the front is actually encroaching now on the sort of southwest peninsula area, hitting the edge of Wales, and it's got a lot of cloud on it and some rain as well. We clearly are in an area that's clear that frontal system, certainly for most of our flying days, so should be fine. There's practically no isobars in the area. There's very little wind, and the likelihood is it's going to be blue pretty well for the day. The spot wind is indicating variable on the ground with a very, very slight westerly bias. So we'll be setting up on runway 27. Here's the cloud. You can see the cloud associated with that front. And it's pretty well going across from, I don't know, sort of Exeter across up to Hull area. And it's just coming across the country and leaving us in relatively reasonable cloud-free air for the majority of our day. That is, of course, going to limit the amount of distance anyone might want to be able to fly today. If you look at the rain radar, you can see the rain associated with that front, and we're pretty well clear down here. And it's the predicted forecast for the rain. It shows, if I make that a little bit larger, if I run through the timings, there's 9 o'clock today. If I run through, it's slowly encroaching onto the UK, but we're going to be pretty well fine down where we are. It's going to be very heavy rain actually in Wales and Ireland. Local forecast is giving us nice blue skies today. Very, very slack west-southwesterly flow. Temperatures may be reaching 21 degrees at peak, but very little likelihood of any cumulus clouds. GFS is indicating top temperature today around about 22 degrees with a dew point down at about 11. Local forecasts at the moment, we've got a temperature just under 17 degrees, dew point down at 9, and a very, very slack northwesterly flow. If you're outside the window, notice the cirrus. I'll be mentioning that a little bit later. I think it's just what's going to keep the temperature down a little bit. Dave's indicating blue by midday. Consistent thermals to about 3.5 this afternoon, but really it's going to be contained to the the south and the southeast area. I think probably good for a local blue 200 or 300-kilometer flight. Odium's indicating 2 knots from the northwest. They're indicating cumulus at Odium, which is interesting at 3,000 feet, because if we run through to Farnborough, they're saying no cloud at all. Cav OK, basically variable 3 knots. Top Meteo is indicating, as we'd expect, the better area is going to be in the east of the country, nothing up north or even further west particularly. And if I run to the thermals, so this is as of 10 o'clock this morning, indicating blue thermals to about 3,000 feet. And if I run that through the day, it does actually go up to about 3.6 thereabouts, but it's going to be pretty blue all day. Merva's told me to be very enthusiastic about flying cross countries on blue days. So it's going to be really good blue day cross country for you. There you go, Merv. That's for you. But it doesn't really get much higher till about 3.9 maybe. So this is at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And as you can see, pretty well blue thermals throughout the day. SkySight concurs with that. So this is the flight distance area. Again, it's all really to this part of the country, and they're concurring that it's going to be pretty well blue all day. Usable thermals to around about 3,800 feet, perhaps, is what it's indicating. And winds, 3 knots, 270 thereabouts on the ground. And the winds at flying height, 4 knots from about southwest, 240, something like that. No TAMs, a few of these to mention, so I'll run through them. Paragliding, number 2, down at Ringstead Bay in Dorset. 5, there's more paragliding at Bridgeport, Dorset. 15, there's an air display on, but it's for this evening, so don't worry about that too much. 20 is Glastonbury, lots of noise all day. 21 is the usual Barton Stacey. Rocket firing, live firing, surface to 1,200 feet. 24 is Imma Ranges, are actually open today, and they're active to 23,000 feet, surface 23,000 feet. Parachuted display at Andover, which is number 27. So they have a parachute display 11:15 to 11:45 local. So they're obviously dropping some parachutes there for something or other. And 25 is 35, sorry, is the briefing note that Ron mentioned yesterday. It's to do with the React, saying the React's going to be on in July sometime. And 30 is parachuting at Hungerford. Just be aware about that. So operationally today, then, we will start off. This is the cross section I mentioned about Odium. So Odium are indicating that we are going to get some cumulus 3,500 feet perhaps locally. But as I mentioned, Farnborough doesn't, Top Meteo doesn't, and Skyside doesn't. So I don't know what Odium knows that we don't. But notice the cirrus, I mentioned that earlier, they're definitely indicating cirrus thickening as that front gets nearer to us, and clearly going to keep the temperatures down. Hence, we're only getting about 22 today instead of 28 or thereabouts. 2 to 3, 3 to 4 knot thermals throughout the day, and 4 knots perhaps in the blue a little bit later. So no movements today. There will be blue all day. Sun cream, hats and water, please. There's not a lot of wind, so we will feel that heat, although it won't be that hot, we will feel it more. Was already set up on runway 27. Ron got the launch point vehicle out earlier, and a grub a new club grid in the usual place if we have an appetite for a large grid. Otherwise, just come to the aerotow point. We've got no pre-booked instructor slots today, but we do have a lot of guys on the council list who do require some instructions. So please, if you're available and you want to come and help us. So all the two-seaters are available. I think 778 went in with a rear tyre problem at the end of the day yesterday, and hopefully Colin will get that out for us. So we have a full contingent. We'll put a K21 on trial lessons today. It doesn't need to be a K13. And Paul Roberts is hopefully coming out, so he's going to need the adapted kit fit for 773, I'd suggest, or 778 if it does come out later. So all single seats are booked except SH3. And reminder out the buggies, please, the radios, and no carrying passengers in the rear trays. And the simulator, of course, is available if required. And here's a peek at the list. Everything pretty well booked. No instructor slots as we normally have, but we have guys down the bottom who could do with some instructing. And runway setup today then, so it'll be fairly standard 27 dry operation. If we have a large enough club grid, set up the usual place to the north, otherwise hang on the back of the launch point. If I'd like please, if possible, to get all the K21s and a K13 out today, and obviously single seaters as required. So I'll because the launch point vehicle's out there, I'll come out and help get the winches set up, and I'll see you all later. Thank you. Bye.